Hey everybody, it's Cooper here, and welcome back to another video in the My Memories Of series, and today I'm going to be talking about Fable for the original Xbox. Now, as you can see, I've got the original and also Lost Chapters here, which was released later as a Platinum Hits only title, and it came with a few extra missions and stuff like that, so that's why I've got a Player's Choice version. That's the only way it was really released. But I owned Fable when I was younger. I don't remember which version exactly I had, but I do remember having it, and I played it along with a friend of mine, the same friend who I played Morrowind with. You know, we each had our own copies, and we played around the same time and would discuss the game and stuff. So there were a couple other Xbox games that I had growing up as well, but Morrowind and Fable here, and then Sega GT 2002 were really the three games I spent the most time with. And so the game is great if you haven't played it. And I've heard some unfortunate news recently that they canceled the newest Fable, and Microsoft has been thinking about actually shutting down Lionhead, I believe, which is the studio that is in charge of Fable. So it's, it kind of sucks that there might not be another Fable game, but, at least we have, a few that are, a few good games that are out there already to go back and play. But I'm specifically going to talk about the first one here. I believe that I've played 2, but I haven't played 3, and so, like I said, I'm just going to be talking about the first one. So, I had this game when I was younger, like I said, and I loved it, and I played it all the time. And what was really cool to me about this game, and it was something that I hadn't really experienced to this effect in any other game, was the options in the game where you can choose to be good or evil. And it's not, there's other games that have things like this, but it's more like you pick the side you're going to be on and that's it. With this game, you can go back and forth, or you can be somewhere in the middle, and it can always change depending on the actions that you choose in the game, which is very interesting and unique to the Fable series, I think, at least at the time. And when I initially played, at least like halfway through the game, I was just playing it how I kind of normally would play a game, and I kind of ended up being on the good side. You want to save the townspeople, and you want to be the hero and all that. And I kind of did that, but then I got to a point where I wanted to be evil. So I started making the more evil choices in the game. And another thing that you can do is you can buy little baby chicks, like little baby chickens, and you can eat them in the game, which I always thought was really funny. But every time you eat one, you get like 5 points to your evil side or something like that. And so buying all the baby chicks that I could find and eating them all was a quick way to turn yourself into an evil character. And what was really cool about going from good to evil, or either way, is that it wasn't just like you have a point value. Your character would physically change depending on, if you were on the good or the evil side. If you were good, you would eventually get a halo around your head, and there'd be little butterflies flying around, and you would kind of glow. And all the townspeople and all the people in the game would really love you, and they'd always want to talk to you, and they'd be excited when you're around and all happy. But then if you were on the evil side, eventually you would start to grow horns, and you'd have flies flying around you, and instead of kind of glowing, it would kind of be a little dark, and people in the town would be afraid of you. They would run away from you and stuff. And I thought that was just a very, very cool and interesting mechanic to the game, because, at least for me, I had never experienced anything else like that. And so that was really cool for me to see. But yeah, there's choices in the game you can make, and I don't want to, the game is super old, so I don't think anyone's really going to care that much, but I don't want to give away too many spoilers or anything, but there is a part in the game where you can choose to kill someone, or you can choose to let them live, and they had been like a friend or an ally in the game. And so that was one part of the game where I think at that point I was trying to be evil, but I just couldn't do it. I had to let them live. But it's very interesting to see such heavy aspects in a game like that, because that's not, killing your friend, even in a fantasy video game, is still something that's pretty dark, and it's pretty crazy, honestly. But yeah, there's tons of awesome things in the game. It's kind of like a hack and slash adventure exploration RPG, I guess you could say. It's got elements of a lot of different games in there. There's even some puzzle aspects to it, if I'm remembering correctly. So it's very cool. It's not super heavy on the RPG elements. So if you're the kind of person that can't get into those RPGs, like Final Fantasy or whatever, where there's many different characters and different classes and levels and weapons and armor and spells and all that, it's not that heavy with that kind of stuff. So if you're more into like Legend of Zelda type games, this is closer to that than something like Final Fantasy. And I know that a lot of people will always compare Fable to Legend of Zelda and say that it was like Microsoft's answer to the Legend of Zelda series, and I can definitely see that, but it does have its own unique aspects, which Zelda doesn't. Not to say that it's better or worse, it's just different. But yeah, it's a great game. If you guys haven't played it, I could definitely recommend it. It's a lot of fun. And, in addition to the good and evil aspect of the game, you also have a component where you're growing up in the game. When you start playing, you are a child, and you're living at home with your parents, and then eventually, you are kind of like in school, like magic school kind of, and you're a kid, you're a teenager, and then you become an adult, and then it's not like a really important part of the game, but if you choose to do so, you can marry someone and have kids, and your kids will like take after you. If you're an evil person in the game, your kid will be kind of evil, and I always thought that was just insane. Like that's like a Sims aspect of the game or something. I always thought that was really cool. So yeah, I can't really recommend Fable enough. I guess I'd recommend Lost Chapters here over the first one, just because it's the same game. There's a little bit more to it. And there's a lot of exploring you can do. It's kind of open world-ish. And you can pick up quests along the way and stuff. And there's like merchants, you can buy and sell things, you can upgrade your armor and your weapons and all that kind of stuff. You can get different spells and all that. It's very, very cool. So yeah, I would definitely recommend Fable to anyone that hasn't played it. And if you're a fan of Legend of Zelda, especially, you need to play Fable. So yeah, that's going to be it for this one. I hope you guys really enjoyed the video. If you did, please make sure to like the video and also subscribe. And I will see you guys next time.